Hey guys, RTT back here for another video. Guys, today we have some leaked software of what might be running on the Google Pixel Fold, and it's actually Android 12.1. Let's go ahead and talk about that. So anyone who is new to the Google Pixel Fold, this is exactly what it is. It looks exactly like a Galaxy Fold 3, let's be honest. Nonetheless, though, there is some key differences. The camera setup is a little bit different. On the front display is in the left-hand corner. On the inner display, it's in the right-hand corner. Now, it's not too much of a difference other than that. The camera setup on the back is a little bit different. It looks a little bit different. But the big thing about this is because of how Google does do their phones, this will most likely be cheaper than even the Surface Duo 2. So we could see a price tag of anywhere from $999 up to $1299 for this device, which kind of makes it more of the affordable budget type phone, while at the same time, though, still giving you really high-end specs and high-end stuff. Now, the one thing we are scared about with this device, of course, is the fact of, is it going to be up to par with the Surface Duo 2 / Galaxy Fold 3? Or is it going to be more or less just a clone of the Galaxy Fold 1, where, of course, Samsung took 3 years to master the whole foldable glass idea. Hopefully, we see a same, mastering of 1 year with the Google Pixel Fold, but it's one of those things where it's a first generation type device. It's going to be one of the things we're going to have to just wait and see. Now, next week at the Google Pixel event, we will see the Google Pixel 6. Now, this most likely will be teased, but not actually released or talked about much at that event. So, this has already been confirmed that it will be delayed. How long? We could see a November release, a December release, a January, February. We don't know at the moment in time. But with that being said, though, at least we know it is coming sometime soon. And based on the article we have today, it might actually be running Android 12. So right here we have a dual pane notification panel, settings, and lock screen. So while digging through early builds of Android 12, we learned that Google is adding a dual pane layout in the stock launcher app and notification panels, as well as the size adjusted lock screen. At the time, we believe this UI changes were aimed at tablets, but Google made no mention of tablet changes in any of its blog posts or developer documentation. Turns out the UI changes are part of the broader effort to make Android look better on big screen foldable phones, Google Pixel, obviously. Here's a look at the upcoming dual panels UI for the notifications, as well as a first look of the dual pane settings app and lock screen. So right here we actually have what it looks like the control center for obviously the Google Pixel, and on the right hand side we have the notification. So when you open up your phone, this is what it would pretty much look like on your actual home screen. So before you unlock the phone, this is what you have, which is absolutely awesome. When device's screen is significantly larger, when the device's screen is significantly larger, the quick settings and notification panel can both be shown at the same time on Android 12, with the quick settings on the left and the notifications on the right half. In contrast, the large screen device running Android 12 can only show the quick setting panels when the status bar is fully expanded. Android 12 doesn't make effective use of the extra screen real estate afforded by foldable phones, but Android 12 will. 12.1 will. We also learned that Android 12.1 will show a 3-column quick settings panel when the screen density exceeds a certain value. We could not get this UI change to appear in the build we have access to. All right, so this is what it looks like when it comes to the actual settings. By the way, guys, I made a mistake there. Android 12.1, not Android 12. It probably will get 12, but 12.1 is where we'll see the real changes added to this. So you guys can see at the very bottom here, we have our 4 or 5 different applications, and then we have our dual screens layout for this. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is what Google added to their actual launcher, okay? So they added this functionality. They added this ability to have this on their launcher to one day obviously be able to utilize it for their own devices. Again, like I said, it did not say anything about tablets. They have not talked about tablets. This most likely will be the Google Pixel, which again, like I said, might come out in November, might come out in December of this year. Sometime later this year, we're going to see a Google Pixel, and this is going to be really awesome. Similarity, Android 12.1 take advantage of the bigger screens on many foldables by showing the top level settings on the left and any subscreen on the right when the settings app is open. Okay, interesting. So what they're talking about, the left hand corner, you guys, you see the time, you also see some notifications, and on the right you see ringer off, and also that is charging. That's interesting. Okay. And also we see, okay, so let's see if we, okay, so screen size 240, nothing else. Okay, I was trying to see if we saw like, hertz size or anything like that, but it looks like we do not see anything like that. So now going down here is what the lock screen looks like on this more or less foldable phone. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now getting into that, guys, we lastly, we have previously mentioned the lock screen pin/password entry shifts to the side to make it easier to unlock the device with one hand. The pin/password appears on the side of the screen that the user touches. To miss the password or lock screen, it can be moved to the other side by tapping anywhere on the other half of the display. And this is actually a video of it. Let me go ahead and mute the audio here so you guys can see this. So let's just let this play out a couple times so you guys can see. You can move it back and forth depending on what side of the screen you touch. So depending on where you touch, you can move the actual pin size thing right there to any side of the screen no matter what. That's kind of cool. We also have notifications there. So this is actually just a web page brought up in the Google Pixel actual lineup here, which is awesome. So Taskbar, perhaps the most important feature Google is adding in Android 12.1 is to improve the foldable phone experience is the Taskbar. We saw a glimpse of this feature in early Android 12 builds, but Google has since refined the Taskbar feature in its internal code branches. The Taskbar is integrated with the Android's existing multi-tasking and split screen features, and it looks quite similar to what you find in many desktop operating systems. You can use the taskbar to quickly switch between apps, drag and drop apps to launch in split screen mode, and touch and hold the taskbar to hide from view. Once enabled, the taskbar in the launcher app dock becomes one and the same, with the taskbar seamlessly transitioning into a dock whenever the user exits an app. Up to 5 apps can currently be added to the docks as taskbar, though it's unlikely that this change will be in the future. New split screen in recent UIs. The UI for Android split screen mode and recent apps have also been slightly tweaked to work better on large screen devices like foldables. For starters, the split screen divider line is now more potent, using a dark gray instead of black color, and visually that more clearly informs the user that the divide can be dragged. This larger divider does very slightly cover parts of both apps, but it's not enough. Okay, so actually this is what they're talking about right here. So this is the divider, which of course would be the middle section right here. And okay, so this can be dragged actually, guys. This can be dragged when you are running, 2 apps at one time. This divider can be dragged left or right. Now, instead of using a black design here, they use actually a gray design, which I do like a little bit better, I will say. The larger divider does not simply cover parts of both apps. It's not large enough to be distracting or cover up important UI elements. The UI is likely still large in work in progress, so we expect changes before the formal release of Android 12.1. So I do like that. I think that does look, pretty dang good, I will say. Even though there is a little divider, which you have to have a divider because you have 2 apps open at the same time. I guess unless you were just going to go ahead and just have one app. I guess you can just do what the Fold 3 does, which is literally just apps back to back. But honestly, I don't think that looks as good, to be honest, but it's me personally. App Pairs, a feature that will let you create a pair of apps to launch in split screen mode simultaneously, and have seen some progress since we saw it on Android 12. We still couldn't add an app pair to this home screen, but we believe that feature will be fully available before Android 12.1 reaches stable status. We were able to get one of its promising features working, namely the ability to double tap the screen divider to swap the position of each app. We're able to see the 2 split screen apps appear as one task in the recent app overview, but we couldn't find a way to pin the pair. Speaking of the recent apps overview, Google made a subtle tweak to the layout of Android 12.1. The cards are no longer uniform in size. Rather, the most recent ones have been enlarged, while the rest have been shrunk and arranged in a 2-row grid. Underneath the most recent card is also a new split button that launches split screen mode. Previously, you had to long press on an app icon and recent app overview to access split screen mode. Interesting. So here is what we have right here. So it looks like, okay, so it looks like you long press on this, which actually lets you get the tab up. Interesting. A new feature called Notification Window is considered for Android 12.1, though is not enabled by default yet. Once enabled, this feature lets you launch an app actively in a split screen window by long pressing the notification, then dragging it to the top to either side of the screen. The code changes, says you can drag and drop heads up notifications, but we weren't able to get it working. We also weren't able to get the feature to open apps in a free form window, which is also supported by working according to the feature's description. Okay, so you can actually hold this notification right here, right? And pin it right there. So while you're scrolling or whatever, you see your full notifications at the very top. That's a W. That's cool. I like that. And then right here we have, which is, what we have right here is just the different lock screens. As you guys can see, the different color scheme you can do, which I do like. We also have, obviously, all the images here. Nice. And let's go ahead and get on to the next topic right here, guys. So next topic we're going to be looking at, guys, is going to go ahead and be the power button and all the power stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Press and hold duration for power button. One of the most useful additions to Android in recent years, at least in our view, is the device controls. The feature gives you a quick access to your smart home controls without needing to open an app or tap a widget. In Android 11, device controls were integrated into the power button, but in Android 12, the power button is no longer hold device controls or quick access wallet features for that matter. The reason is that Google wanted you to simply simplify the power menu and make a long press of the power button trigger the assistant instead of the power menu. When the hold for assistant feature is enabled, holding down the power button for 500 milliseconds will launch whatever set as the default assistant service. For Android 12, you can change the duration for how long you needed to hold down the power button for, but you also able to do it in Android 12.1. A new press and hold duration slider has been added under Settings, Gesture, Press and hold power button. This lets you adjust the sensitivity of the long press button gesture. You can choose from short 250 milliseconds to long 750 milliseconds, or somewhere in between 350, 500, or 650. So you guys see right here on the screen, it does say press and hold, and you can change from short or long, which is actually really, really dope. Our last thing we have here, guys, is going to go ahead and be the new wallpapers. So there's actually kind of something interesting. You can actually get a certain custom wallpaper if you get the Google Pixel 6 that you can't get with any other phone. So Google is making it a little bit customizable for that said phone. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I mean, really, this is exciting in my opinion, the fact that we are getting, most likely going to get the Google Pixel Fold sometime this year. We're going to get 12.1. Google's already ready creating software for it. This is an absolute W. And like I said before, it's probably going to be very cheap and affordable. You got to think Google's are really good at making phones cheap and affordable, while, Samsung and obviously Apple makes them more expensive. This is a really big W for the foldable phone market. I will definitely say that. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.